Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I'm Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. So today we are going to get real about the state of VR. We're going to discuss exactly what's going on. We know this industry is up, down, and some people I'll see in my comments like, wait, what's going on? One week you said VR is amazing, the next you say VR is dead. Well, I never said VR is dead. VR is never dead. Okay, but yes, there's a lot of up and down, but there's three major different ways to look at what's going on in the VR or XR world. You have the corporation or industry side. So are there players getting involved in XR right now? Is it growing? Is it spreading? Then there's the developer side. Are developers doing okay in this industry? Are they struggling? Has money dried up? Are they making money in their sales? And then finally, the consumer side is that, are we being treated well? Are we getting cool new stuff, great new games? There's very different ways to look at it. And right now, the game side is up, the consumer side's awesome, but the dev side is not. And that's why you might be getting some mixed signals from me. But I'm going to break down everything today, guys. And as always, these videos are intended to educate and entertain you guys about how the overall industry works on multiple different levels. I would love for you guys to let me know if you enjoy these types of talking head videos. You could do that by either giving me a thumbs up or letting me know down in the comments. It really helps a lot. I truly appreciate it. But let's not waste any more time and start breaking things down. Now, as previously stated, things on the consumer side are going quite well. 2025 is becoming the year of surprise hits. Rather than the highly anticipated titles like Behemoth that we waited 2 years for, we're getting a lot more low-key bangers. We started the year off with the extremely impressive Arcane Age. After 4 attempts, we're finally capable of getting a solid Hitman VR title. Ghost Town delivered the best hands-down storytelling in VR, while also delivering some shockingly good graphics. And most recently, the Midnight Walk absolutely blew me away. At the same time, some of the most successful games kept banging out new updates like Walkabout Mini Golf, and we've seen a lot of games move from one platform to another. This includes Into the Radius 2 coming over to the Quest now in its early access stage. We also got Ghost of the Boar making it onto the PlayStation VR 2. So ultimately, things are really solid. And oddly enough, we're seeing this in like all aspects of gaming. VR is doing really good. And then console gaming is like, oh, you guys want solid titles too? We got you. Here's Exposition 33 out of nowhere. And we got a huge update for Baldur's Gate because we love you guys. And oh, Doom the Dark Ages. This is what you want. Like, it's been incredible, guys. It's really been wild. So it's really strange to see the contradiction in what the consumer is getting right now and what the developer is going through. And you might say, how is that possible at all? But there's a big lag between when they're working on the game and when they're delivering the game and when we're experiencing it. So titles like Behemoth, which I already mentioned, were these, hype-driven, really exciting games coming from a studio we know, Skydance, that gave us a game we love, Saints and Sinners. And then it just doesn't sell that well. And even though it's a good game or even a great game, it just does not get the response that developers were expecting. It shows a shift in the market. And at the same time, Meta is moving the money around. They want things in mixed reality and Horizon Worlds, and they're not playing as nice with VR developers as they used to. So developers are struggling. Consumers are loving life. It's going to be a good balancing act because this will help promote some developers to get back in or maybe loosen up some purses for there to be more money available, because when you get solid releases back to back, you build hype for a platform. So that's why we're seeing the contradiction. But let's spend a little bit more time on what's going on with the developers. So just like I said, VR goes up and down in every aspect of the industry. Just 2 months ago when I was at GDC, I picked the brains of so many different developers, and the general vibe was less than positive. Games like Behemoth and Metro just didn't hit expectations, overall sales were down, and Meta was up to some shenanigans that was hurting plenty of people. One prime example was the search feature being broken on the Meta store, which undoubtedly lowered sales, and at the same time, Meta absolutely killed game visibility by jamming Horizon Worlds in the front of your face and burying everything else behind it. Now, I also heard a lot of sob stories from developers when I was at GDC. Now, situations where they felt like they weren't mistreated, but got really bad deals from Meta. They were put in a scenario where it's like their money has dried up. They want to get the game on the platform. And Meta used to really be helpful in these situations, get people past the mark, get more stuff on their platform. And now they're a lot more stingy about what they're giving money to, unless it's Horizon Worlds or mixed reality. But VR games, you know, that money's kind of dried up and some people dependent on it. And the other people are in this situation where it's like, all right, well, I need the help from Meta, but now Meta's asking for a huge chunk. They already take 30% on the storefront. They're asking for even more. Now, I do take those stories with a grain of salt because I'm obviously not seeing any numbers and I'm just taking someone's word for it, but it seemed to be the general consensus that the money has dried up from Meta and they're being extremely stingy on all new deals, which is completely understandable because they have different priorities besides VR games. Their end goal is the next computing platform, the glasses or headset that you wear all day long and they could get tons of new information on you. We've known this for years. They've made this public. This is no shock. But I've always had the fear in my mind that Meta is going to keep dumping all this money into the industry. They start with the VR community because we're early adopters. They use us as beta testers, and they'd kind of trample us if they could get to 100 million mainstream people. So forget the 20 million, VR gamers out there. If they could get 100, 200 million mainstream people, a more mainstreamy type product. Their end all goal is the next computing platform. Now, at GDC, I did hear a couple other things that's not the case. Like Meta said, listen, we're not going to abandon these people. They're going to have new leadership for the Quest to make sure it stays a viable platform because they understand that people love VR gaming and they want it to grow. That is leak rumor territory, not much more, but multiple people did confirm that, which is nice. But this brings us to the next thing we need to discuss is where is XR in the overall industry right now? Well, luckily enough, things are also looking positive here. Meta's initial long-term goal in XR did originally scare investors, and their stock absolutely tanked for a time. But now things have stabilized, and it looks like they've built the foundation that others are going to jump off of. The fact that many of new players are getting into the XR industry shows that they believe it is viable and will continue to grow. We just started getting glimpses of Google XR. Apple is desperately trying to make their next headset much more consumer friendly, and there's a massive buzz around mixed reality glasses right now. So as you guys can clearly see, even right now in its current state, XR is up, down, and also up. It's good for consumers. We're getting solid products. It's not so good for developers right now, but it looks really good for the industry. It looks like it's growing. We're getting new players in. And that should spiral into things being good for the developers. Because once we get these new platforms out there, there's, people, tons of new people looking for content. Developers can now develop for Apple and they could develop for Google XR and Quest and all the other headsets that'll be out there. And it should help with their overall revenue and it should help their companies grow. And this hopefully will just spiral into the XR community growing. And everyone who likes any aspect of it, if you like glasses for watching movies, if you like, fully immersive VR, whatever the case may be, it should improve for everyone. So I'm very hopeful for the current state of VR. And I know it feels like, oh, we're always saying VR is gonna be great. It's great now. And it just keeps getting better. And that was today's video. Reminder to you guys, one of these, if you liked it. I hope you learned something. I hope you're entertained. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next time.